Time for another tier list. What is up, guys? Faces Gaming here, and welcome to a Sonic tier list. So, I've been in the mood to do a tier list for a while, since the last one. Last one being Call of Duty, I believe. And I have another tier list coming up after this, but the reason why I'm making this tier list because I just finished Sonic Frontiers earlier today at the time you recorded this. I just finished it, and my mind was racing. I was like, I got to do this tier list. So, we're here. You should already know how my tier list works. I break my tier list down into segments. We are currently now in the classic segment. Then we're gonna go to the Dreamcat, to the like 4-kid segment, and then the modern segment will be last. So, to kick off the classic segment of our Sonic tier list, this one's going to be a little longer. As you can see, I have all the games based off of eras. We got the classic era, spanning from Sonic 1 to Sonic Pocket Adventure. I guess you could say, technically. No, actually, no. It's Sonic R. Sonic R in the classic era. The Pocket Adventure is more like the adventure era. Then for the adventure era, we got Sonic Adventure, Sonic Pocket Color Adventure, all the way up to Sonic and the Black Knight. That will cover the adventure era. Then the modern era is from Sonic Unleashed all the way up to Sonic Forces, as you may know. So, kicking off our list, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, Genesis from the Sega Genesis, released all the way back in 1991. This game hasn't aged well. The original Genesis version has not aged well. It chugs. Its frame rates dip from time to time when too many things happen on screen, and it's like, I don't hate the original. I do enjoy playing it, but it just hasn't aged well. It's still a good game. The soundtrack bops as well. But Sonic 1's a game I come back to when I'm in the mood. When I'm in the mood for some, classic nostalgia. That being said, Sonic 1 will kick off our list being put in C tier because looking back on it, it's not all that good. Now, if this were the other versions, like the mobile port or the Origins version, then it'd be much higher. Well, it wouldn't be much higher. There's not much you can do to improve Sonic 1. It was already pretty good, I guess. Next up, we have the game of the same name, this time for the Master System / Game Gear, aptly named Sonic the Hedgehog. Also released in 1991. This one is a little bit different from its Genesis counterpart, being as though, although there are like a few levels that return, like the Scrap Brain Zone, Green Hill Zone, and Labyrinth Zone, those are the only zones that return. Now I have played Sonic 1, and I don't like it as much as its Genesis counterpart, but it is fine. It's just fine. I wouldn't really go back to it, to be honest. So it's gonna sit right here with its older brother in C tier just for now. Up next, we have Sonic 2 Master System / Game Gear, released in 1992, just a few months before its Genesis little brother. This game is difficult. This game is difficult, especially if you're playing on the Game Gear version with that horrendous screen crunch. And for this game in particular, this game relies a lot on just outright leaps of faith, especially in zones like Sky High and Green Hills. It's bad. They literally, and it doesn't help that this game also chugs. But, what can you do? Now, funny enough, Sonic 1, I didn't mention this, but Sonic 1 Master System and Sonic 2 Master System also have fan game remasters of them, but my phone can barely run them, and my computer controls are all over the place sometimes. But that's just touched on it. Now, I have beaten Sonic 2 multiple times, with all Chaos Realms, of course, but my gripe with Sonic 2 is the Chaos Realms, it's bad. So, and plus, it's not the Sonic 2 I think about when I feel like playing Sonic 2. So, it's gonna join its older brothers right here in C tier. Now, C tier is looking a little bloated, but it'll be bloated by the end of this, I'm pretty sure. Up next, we have the most important Sonic game to ever grace the world. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Genesis, released in 1992. This game changed everything. This game changed everything. We had the introduction of the Spin Dash. We had the introduction of Supersonic. Tails technically made his debut in Sonic 2 for the Master System, but everybody that plays Sonic remembers Tails being in this game first. Sonic 2, a lot of people have like arguments between this and Sonic 3 being like the best game in the Genesis trilogy. Like, this game, Sonic 2 is it's still good to this day. It's so good, it's still so good. You got the Genesis original, you got the dozens of ports, you got the Origins version. What can I say? Like, now, I do have my gripes with Sonic 2. Sonic 2 isn't perfect. It's not perfect at all. The difficulty spike at the end, if you don't got the Chaos Emeralds, is absurd. Metropolis Zone with its Asteron, Shell Crackers, and Slicers, it's bad. However, if you're playing the mobile port, then you literally beat that game before you even get started. Now, I'm not judging this on the mobile port. I'm judging this on the original. The original is good. The original is really good, really good. I really do enjoy going back to Sonic 2 a lot. I do. So, where am I putting this? I'm gonna put this right. It's good. I'm putting Sonic 2 in A tier. It's our first A tier. It's a really good game. I don't have problems coming back to Sonic 2. I really don't. The half pipe, I have no problem with the half pipe. I have no problems. I've mastered the half. At this point, I've mastered the half pipe. I've made the half pipe my bitch. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, next up, we have an interesting game, and a game that I never thought I would like, but I love. Sonic CD. This game, for me, is on the same level as Sonic 2, putting it in A tier. This game has a lot going on for it. The colors the levels the zones are bright and vibrant, especially if you're in the future. The levels are bright and vibrant. If you're in the bad future, the colors are dark and dingy, and they represent the fact that Eggman took over. The music, oh my god! I didn't even talk about the music of Sonic, of like the past couple Sonic games, like Sonic 2 and that. But it's a Sonic game. Even if a Sonic game is bad, the music's gonna slap. There's nothing more need to be said. And this cannot be more true than with Sonic CD. I love both soundtracks, the American and Japanese and European soundtracks. I love them both. I cannot pick one over the other. There are so many tracks about. There's so much about Sonic CD soundtrack that I love, from Sonic Boom to You Could Do Anything to Cosmic Eternity, freaking Sonic Boom ending. What can I say? I love Sonic CD, and I fell in love with it. I've been in love with it for the past couple of years. Every time I go back to it, I get all the time stones. Then I'll go back and get all the machines, and I just love Sonic CD. Yes, the gripes with this game is that the level design makes no sense. However, once you play Sonic CD enough, you pretty much know the layouts of every zone. So, for me, Sonic CD is an A tier game, and I will hear nothing else. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first S tier Sonic game. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. Or Sonic 3 and Knuckles, as it's meant to be. Remember how I said there was a debate between this game and this game? Yeah, this is why. Some people feel like Sonic 2 is up here and Sonic 3 is down here in A tier, while others like myself feel like Sonic 2 is down here and Sonic 3 is up here. For me, I like Sonic 3 a little bit more than Sonic 2. For one reason, and one reason only. Hyper Sonic. That's it. That's literally it. I could go on about Sonic 3's music, but I'd be beating a dead horse. Everybody loves Sonic 3's soundtrack. It's phenomenal. Angel Island, Hydra City, Marble Zone, Marble Garden, Carnival Night, Ice Cap, Launch Base, Mushroom Hill, Flying Battery, Sanopolis, Lava Reef, Sky Sanctuary, Death Fate, Doomsday Zone. the multiplayer tracks, the menu music, the data select, the title screen theme, the continued theme. I could go on forever talking about Sonic 3 soundtrack. I could go on forever talking about all of these game soundtracks, but like I said, I'd be beating a dead horse. So Sonic 3 for me, it's a really great game. Every time I go back to it, I get all the Chaos emotes, then I get all the Super emotes, then after that, I run through the entire game as Hypersonic with reckless abandon, not really caring if I die or not. Then I go back and do it again with Knuckles and Tails and get Super Tails and Hyper Knuckles. What can I say? I love Sonic 3. And then with that, Sonic 3 6 is our first Sonic game in S tier, but it's not going to be the last one, I'll tell you that much. Now we move on to Sonic 3D Blast. Sonic 3D Blast is an interesting one. It's the first time Sonic was in 3D technically. Technically, before Sonic Adventure, this was the first shot. This was the first try. Now Sonic 3D Blast had two versions. It had the Genesis version, which I'm more familiar with, and then the Saturn version, which is more visually appealing, especially with its visuals and its sound design. The soundtrack is good. I don't have. If this was a tier list on soundtracks, almost all these games would be in A and S tier, literally. Now, how I feel about Sonic CD, I mean, it's not Sonic CD, Sonic 3D Blast. I think it's a middle of the road Sonic game. It's not terrible. It's actually not bad. Once you get used to it, it's actually not bad. It's a middle of the road Sonic game. It's not bad. Sonic Chaos. Oh, I wish I could talk about the fan game, because the fan game is phenomenal. The fan game of Sonic CD, not Sonic CD. The fan game of Sonic Chaos that you might remember on the channel that I did way back. That game is phenomenal. But the original, not so much. I played it, but I didn't get very far. I got bored halfway through. I'm not gonna. I got bored halfway through the first zone. I beat the first boss and never went back. Sonic C, I don't know, it's just something about Sonic Chaos, the original Sonic Chaos just didn't do it for me. So, C tier. Put it in C tier. It just doesn't do it for me. Next up, Sonic Triple Trouble. Sonic Triple Trouble. I was about to say 16-bit. This game also has a phenomenal fan game. And the fan game is so good. I have the fan game on this computer that I'm recording this tier list on. And I've already beaten that fan game with all the Chaos Emeralds, and I beat the secret boss, because why not? That's what I do in Sonic games. Now, the original Sonic Triple Trouble, like the original Sonic Chaos, I didn't play that much. I beat the first boss. I beat the first boss in Grand Turquoise, and then I just never played the game. I'm gonna put the original in the same I'm gonna put it just above its older brother, his older brother, in C tier. But like I said, if these were the fan games, these are the fan games that I was talking about. These two would be up here. But since it's not the fan games we're talking about, they're here. Tails' Adventures. Huh. Actually, I'm gonna do Tails' Adventures and Tails Sky Patrol together, because this video is already getting long. All right. Well, this segment's already getting long. Alright, so Tails' Adventures it's a Metroidvania. I love my Metroidvania. It's just like Metroid. Yeah, it's an okay game. B tier. Put it in B tier. And Tails' Sky Patrol? It's also pretty okay. But also throw it in B tier. Nothing too special. Now, Sonic R. Okay, gameplay-wise, it's not good. Okay, the gameplay-wise, it's not good. It handles really weirdly, but that's the charm. And the music of this game, oh, I could talk about this game's music all the time. I really could, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. So Sonic R, I do enjoy playing this game. I do enjoy listening to the soundtrack. I do enjoy it. So let's see, where would I put it? I'd probably put it right behind Sonic 3D Blast in B tier. It's not a bad game. It's just that this game, it works. The thing is, it works. And once you get Supersonic, you literally can never lose again, unless you actively try. That's about it. So, yeah, that's where Sonic Horror Blast. Okay, so we're 14 minutes into this video, and we've just wrapped up the classic segment. So we're gonna take a brief pause, and when we come back, we will begin the long journey that is the Dreamcast, the adventure era. And trust me, this section is going to be a doozy. See you guys in just a bit. And welcome back. So we are now in the adventure era. This era is going to be interesting. There's a lot of different ideas that were chosen for this game. Hold on, I need to make a slight adjustment. There we go. Okay, so starting off the adventure era, we have, well, Sonic Adventure for the Sega, released in 1998 for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, this game was Sonic's true jump into 3D. His first true jump. And the game nowadays has not aged well. I'm not gonna lie to you. Graphically, it's fine, but it was fine for the time. It was revolutionary for the time because, you know, back then and then in like the late 90s and early 2000s, game developers were still, learning the ins and outs of the three-dimensional space. You know, 2 years prior, Mario 64 on the N64 showed the world what the power of the third dimension could do. Then later on, you got Sonic throwing his hat into the ring with Sonic 3D Blast that we talked about last time. While that was just a, dipping their feet, Sega dipping their feet into the water, Sonic Adventure 1 was them diving into the pool. And I gotta say, they stuck the landing very admirably. I can't speak, gosh. Now, like I said, the graphics are fine, the voice acting is terrible, and the controls are wonky, really wonky. But this game did introduce multiple playable characters. Of course, you have Sonic. Yeah, of course you have Sonic, the main character, obviously. But then you got Tails. You got Knuckles, you got newcomer, and you got Amy, you got newcomers Big the Cat and E102. I think either 102 Gamma or Omega, I don't know. Sonic's levels are your standard run from point A to point B. Tails is the same way, but you'll race either Sonic or Eggman. Knuckles, you hunt down the shards of the Master Emerald. Not big. Amy, you are trying to escape a robot. And I can't speak, gosh. E102, you're just blasting things out of the sky. And then Big the Cat, you're fishing. Yeah, nobody likes Big the Cat's levels, myself included. Those levels are the worst part of Sonic Adventure 1. The worst parts. But, I mean, I did it though. It took me I know the last level took me over 30 minutes to do, if I remember correctly. But here's the thing, Here's the thing, even though Big the Cat's levels bring this, are like the blight on this game, Sonic Adventure, I cannot take away the importance of Sonic Adventure 1. I cannot take away its importance. Because without Sonic Adventure 1, without this game, Sonic would not have made that jump to the third dimension. If Sega didn't try and take a risk, who knows, it never would have paid off. We would have never gotten, the Sonic game, the modern, the 3D Sonic games we got now. So that being said, Sonic Adventure 1 will grace Sonic CD and Sonic 2 in A tier for, well, I actually do prefer this over its sequel, Sonic Adventure 2, which is up next. Sonic Adventure 2 is another game that hasn't aged very well. The animations are still wonky. They're the lip syncing is still off, and voices overlap. Look no further than the green forest cuts in between Sonic and Shadow. That's all that needs to be said. And the controls are even wonkier in this game. Like, rail switching is really, it's finicky, but not as finicky as another Sonic game. Like, sometimes, Sonic and Shadow speeds are sometimes hard to control and whatnot. But other than that, I enjoyed my time with Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic and Shadow's levels are so fun to run through. They're so fun to run through, chaining combos together. Sonic, just like Sonic Adventure 1, every character gets upgrades to their arsenal. Knuckles and Newcomer Rouge have like treasure hunting stage that they do. And while Meteor Herd isn't bad, while Meteor Herd isn't terrible, Mad Space sucks. If you play Sonic Adventure 2, you know that Mad Space is terrible. You know this. Mad Space sucks. And then Tails and Eggman followed suit between AE 102 or 101, I think. I don't remember. And now their levels are shoot 'em ups, which I do enjoy blowing it. I do enjoy blowing stuff up. Also, there was multiplayer elements in this game. There was another return of the Sonic Adventure 1 introduced a child guard, and Sonic Adventure 2 perfected it. In my opinion, the soundtrack for both Sonic Adventures is really good, although some people prefer Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack. Now, while this game is good, I still prefer it over Sonic Adventure. I prefer Sonic Adventure 1 over Sonic Adventure 2 personally, just because, you know, Sonic Adventure 2, there's no hub worlds to explore, really. There's really no hub worlds to explore for, like, stuff and whatnot. And I just enjoy the atmosphere of Sonic Adventure 1 just a little bit more. Sonic Adventure 2 is still going in A tier, no, make no question. But it's going behind Sonic Adventure 1 in my opinion, just because I enjoyed Sonic Adventure 1 more than Sonic Adventure 2, not gonna lie. But if this is for soundtrack, Sonic Adventure 2 would be in front. But okay, Sonic Pocket Adventure. This game is interesting. Really interesting. It takes locales seen in Sonic Adventure Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and Sonic 1 and 2 more to be more precise, and puts its own little spin on it and adds some extra layers to it. Most of the music is remixed music from Sonic 1, 2, and 3, obviously. But Sonic Pocket Adventure is not bad. It's not a bad game. I'm putting it right up here in B. I'm putting it in B tier. I'm gonna put it above like Tails' Adventure. No, I enjoy Tails' Adventures a little bit more. So I'll put it. I'm still going in front of Tails Sky Patrol, but B tier is not bad. Sonic Heroes. Okay. Sonic Heroes was the first multi-platform video game. Was the first multi-platform Sonic game. Released for the GameCube, PS2, and I think Xbox, was it? I think it was Xbox as well. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But Sonic Heroes is a game. Is a game that a lot of people don't like, but I do like. I can admit the special stages are terrible. Rail switching in this game is really, really scary. So when you get to Rail Canyon and Bullet Station or the end of Egg Fleet, please just let Sonic grind until you have no choice but to rail switch. Do not be rail switching all over the place. Also, the speed characters are way too overpowered. Like, the speed in general in this game is way overpowered. So, I assume that somebody had problems with the speeds of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, so Sega was like, you know what? Let's crank it up. It's not terrible though. Tons of playable characters. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, we got Gamma, Rouge, Amy, Big the Cat, Cream, what else? Charmy, Espio, and Vector the Crocodile making their first 3D appearance. And each of those characters are broken off into teams. You got Team Sonic, which is the medium difficulty. Team Dark, which is hard mode. Team Rose, which is easy mode. And Team Knuckles, which is Team Chaotix, which is confusing difficulty. So, do you want that classic Sonic? Do you want that classic high-speed Sonic adventure? You pick Team Sonic. You pick Team Dark. You can also pick Team Maybe, but Team Maybe's levels are shorter because they're easier. Team Sonic's levels are medium length, and Team Dark's levels are longer. Yeah, go figure. And then there's Team Chaotix. But I do enjoy everything. I enjoy Sonic. I enjoy Sonic Heroes. I enjoy going back to it. Just listen to the music. The music is so good. My favorite track is Frog Forest. I literally love Frog Forest. I can fall asleep to it. It's so good. Sonic Heroes soundtrack is so good. But as I stated in the classic era segment, I could talk about this any Sonic game soundtrack could just be beating a dead horse. Now, where am I putting this bad boy? Okay. it's not as his thing. Sonic Heroes isn't as good in my opinion. It isn't as good as Sonic. It isn't as no. It is no. I'm no. I'm going on my guns here. I'm putting Sonic Heroes in A tier just because it's just as good as Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but not as good. It's good. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. It's a good game. Do not get it twisted. It's a good game. As long as you don't play the PS2 version. Please, for the love of God, if you're going to play Sonic Heroes, get the GameCube version. It's the best one. Trust me on this. If you have to emulate it, or play it on your Wii, or play it on your original GameCube, please do that. Okay, up next we have Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, Shadow the Hedgehog is an interesting game because it came right hot off the heels of Sonic Heroes, which came hot off the heels of Sonic Adventure 2. Now, Shadow the Hedgehog is an interesting game because the world, in my opinion, the world wasn't ready for a Shadow-only game. It plays like you know, Sonic Heroes, but Shadow has a gun. Yeah, we have an anthropomorphic cartoon character with packing heat, talking bazookas, pistols, Gatling guns, ARs, SMGs, shotguns. You name it. Like, street signs. You name it, Shadow's packing heat. Now, this game is heavily criticized for its repetition. Like, once you beat a route, you gotta go back to Westopolis and do it. If you want the true ending of Shadow the Hedgehog, you gotta play Westopolis 10 times. Which is absurd, don't get me wrong. Which is absurd. And I do agree. And the controls do feel wonky even now, even though I went back to it years later after playing Shadow the Hedgehog a ton as a kid. I used to run this game backwards and forwards a ton as a kid. But I have to be honest, it's not as good. It's not as good as I remember. Like it's really funny. It's really funny how games that you used to love as a kid, you go back to and you just realize they're not that good. And you know what? Now I think about it, the same thing goes with Sonic Heroes. So I'm gonna move Sonic Heroes down to B tier. And Shadow will go at the bottom of C tier. I cannot let nostalgia cloud my judgment here. I have to be fair. Because it wouldn't be fair to put games that aren't really good, but I like them up, and I have to be fair. I have to be fair. Have to be fair. Okay, the Sonic Advance trilogy. I'm gonna speed through this one. My favorite Sonic Advance game is Sonic Advance 3, so I'm gonna put that. This goes in B tier. Sonic Advance 1. They're all going up in B tier, mind you. They're all going up in B tier, but this is the order that I choose. Actually, I think I like Sonic Adventure 2. The Sonic Advance 2 is a little more than Sonic Advance 1. I would put Sonic Advance in A tier, but they're not that good. And like a lot of people prefer Sonic Advance 2, and I do. Don't get me wrong. The Sonic Advance 2 is a great game. It really is. It is a great game. It gives you that classic sense of speed. You get so much speed. It's insane. Like literally, if you're Sonic and you get the hot crater, you can literally just let your speed go in hot crater. But I don't know. I just enjoy Sonic Advance 3 a lot more. There's something about that game that just it just tickles me for some reason. Okay, up next we have the Rivals series, Sonic Rivals 1 and 2. These two games are also gonna go in B tier, but I'm putting Sonic Rivals 2 above Sonic Rivals 1 because I played when I got my first ever PSP. Sonic Rivals 2 was the first game I played, and I put more hours into it. And I do enjoy Riders 2 a little more than the Riders 1. I still find Advance to be the better game, to be the better handheld, but Rivals 1 and 2 aren't bad games. Middle of the road. Sonic Rush. Top of B tier. It's not a terrible game. Introduced the boost. Music is great, but it has way too many death bits. Sonic and the Secret Rings. I used to play this game a ton when I was younger, back in high school. I used to play this game a ton. Like, I literally had no problems with the controls whatsoever back in the day. I literally beat this game within a single weekend. That's how much I played Sonic and the Secret Rings. Now I go back to it years later, and it's not as good as I remember. But I do still enjoy this game though. Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I did when I was younger. The music slaps though, but that's not saying nothing. As I said before, that's saying nothing. Trying to be fair here, Sonic and the Secret Rings, unfortunately, I'll give it the top of C tier. It's going at the top of C tier. I'll say that much. Sonic Rush Adventure, it'll go in the same spot. It'll go in B tier. I'll put it right behind his little brother. Not much needs to be said. I did play a good bit of both of Sonic Rush games. Just saying, I did play a good bit. And then finally Sonic and the Black Knight. When I first played this, the controls threw me off. And like this is a Sonic game I wanted to play more than any of these other Sonic games that we have gone through before. Sonic and the Black Knight was the game I wanted to play. So I finally did. And after I got used to the controls a bit, I did get through like a few minutes of the tutorial. I did enjoy it. I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed it a little more than Sonic and the Secret Rings, so B tier. I am going to go back and play to give this game another shot though, because I didn't give it a proper shot, but I'm going to. Whew! Okay, so we're finally done with the adventure, and we're finally done with the adventure era. I told you guys this one was going to be a doozy. I had no choice but to speed up the last bit there because we were coming up on 20 minutes, and I don't want this video is going to be long enough as it is, so I do apologize. All right, so if you stuck with me this long, go ahead and catch it. Go ahead and grab you some snow, pause the video, grab you some snacks, refresh your drink. And when you come back, we will begin our final segment, which is the modern era. And this one is one I'm a lot more familiar with. I'm familiar with all of these eras, mind you, but this one hits a little bit different than the last two. See you guys in a bit. You'll understand why. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally here. The modern era. Ranging from Sonic Unleashed all the way to the most recent entry, Sonic Frontiers, as the title card that I displayed says. So, Sonic Unleashed, both the Wii version and the PS3 and Xbox 360 version. Whew. Okay, so the Wii. Let's start with the Wii version first. The Wii version, I played a little bit, and it feels weird to me now. It felt weird playing the Wii version, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Not bad. Not terrible. But it's not bad. It's actually pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. The Wii version goes in C tier. B tier. The Wii version goes in B tier. The Xbox 360 and PS3 version, it's up there. In A tier. It's up there in A tier. It's an A tier game. My lord. Like, people hate the warehouse stages, but I love the warehouse stages simply because I played a lot of God of War. And then in the daytime stages, that's just classic. That's just standard Sonic. That's just standard Sonic stuff. How fast? Like, Sonic has always been about, fast reaction times. How fast can you react to like incoming obstacles? And Sonic Unleashed is the same way. The only downside to this game is the Sun and Moon medal hunt that you have to do to progress. That can get tedious. That means you're gonna be playing a lot of levels over and over and over again, whether in daytime, whether in the daytime or in the nighttime, just to scavenge a few moon medals. But besides that, Sonic Unleashed is a really good game, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I haven't beaten it yet, but trust me, I will eventually. Okay. Next up, Sonic Colors, 3D, okay, for DS and for the Wii. DS Sonic Colors, it's the best B tier, putting it right at the top of B tier, above Sonic Rush Adventure 1 and 2. This is the end. This is the last game of the Rush trilogy, as you can call it. But in my opinion, Sonic Colors is the best of the Rush trilogy. Yeah, that's about it. I don't have nothing much to say about it. I didn't really play it that much. I played up until like Sweet Mountain. That's about it. Up until about Sweet Mountain. Now, for Sonic Colors for the Wii, this game for me personally, if this is personal, I'm putting it up here. But it does deserve to be an A tier. It deserves it. It deserves A tier status. Even its 2020, even its remake deserves to be up here. Because Sonic Colors is just a great game. Sonic Colors took the formula from this game. Well, the daytime formula from Sonic Unleashed, and shrunk it down, made it easier, so to speak. Sonic Colors is a really easy game. It's not really difficult. It's not a very difficult game. Unleashed is the most difficult game of the 3D of the modern era. Not gonna lie, it's the most difficult. Because, like I said, for the daytime stage, you need to be able to react really quickly. Sonic Colors eased up on that. You still have to react, but it's not as bad. So yeah, Sonic Colors for me is an A tier Sonic, A tier 3D modern Sonic game. And I do enjoy it, and I do like it slightly more than Unleashed, although that may change after I go back at it. Sonic 4 Episode 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first D tier Sonic game. Unfortunately, my love for this game aside, I have to look at this game from a subjective standpoint. This game is weird. I've played this game multiple times. I've beaten it multiple times with all Chaos Emeralds and Super Sonic, earned it through multiple times. But I have to admit, it is flawed. It is really flawed. It's not a bad Sonic game, but it just doesn't compare to anything in C tier, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, Sonic 4 Episode 1 will have to sit down in D tier. Now we have Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations, I don't have to really argue that it goes up in S tier. I don't have to argue that. I don't have to argue. Even though Sonic Generations is just basically reused levels from past Sonic games, reworked for both classic Sonic and modern Sonic, this game still slaps. Even now, it still slaps. The spin dash is overpowered. Not gonna lie. Making spin dash jumps in Sonic Unleashed is easy. And the game is way more sorry, Mike. The game is way more forgiving than Sonic is even more forgiving than Sonic Unleashed and Colors. Again, Colors, it was easier, but you still had to react because you still could fall to your death. And getting S ranks in Colors and Unleashed was a little bit more difficult because, it required a lot of skill and finesse, and in Colors cases, great manipulation of the Wisp. Sonic Unleashed, the only way you don't get an S rank is if you die. That's right. Sonic Generations is even easier than Colors. You get to the end of the act without dying, you get an S rank. But you gotta put in the effort though. You gotta make sure your score is high too. But if your score is high, you ain't die, you're getting an S rank. No questions asked. So getting S ranks in Sonic Generations is easy. Now, as for its 3DS counterpart, it's not as good. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not terrible. I'll put it in C tier. It's not terrible. Sonic 4 Episode 2 is also going in the C tier. It's slightly better than the first game, and I do enjoy it more than the first game. But it's not, it's not what the world wanted. It's not what the world imagined of Sonic 4 would be. Okay, Sonic Mania. If you think I'm putting this nowhere other than S tier, you thought wrong. This is an S tier classic Sonic game. This is how Sonic. This was a great return to form for Sonic. Literally, it took what made classic Sonic good. From games from the go away screen, go away. Games from like the older years, like this one, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic CD, and all that stuff. It took everything. It took all its lessons from that and made one of the best 2D Sonic games ever made. Sonic Mania literally still bumps to this day. People are still playing it to this day. Like, my little nephew loves this game. He loves this game. And now that I have Sonic Mania Plus, he loves Mighty. He loves Mighty. He also loves Raid too, but he loves Mighty. But his love for Knuckles will never go away. Sonic Forces, Sonic Forces. It's not god awful, okay? It's not god awful, but it was a really big letdown. F tier. I enjoyed Sonic 4 Episode 1 a little bit more than it, as Sonic Forces is an F tier game. It's just nothing, there's no good redeeming qualities about that game. Not one. At least Sonic 4 had, you know, nostalgia with it, you know, with the Splash Hill being reminiscent of Green Hill, Lost Labyrinth being reminiscent of Marble Zone and Labyrinth Zone, and like Mad Gear being reminiscent of Metropolis Zone, and Carnival and Casino Street being reminiscent of, well, you get the idea. Unfortunately, Sonic Forces just didn't have a lot going for it. It just really didn't. It's unfortunate. And finally, the whole reason why I wanted to make... Hey guys, Editing Faces here. Disregard everything I'm about to say about Sonic Frontiers ending. I actually went, after recording this part of the video, I actually went and looked up the ending, and I found out there's a secret ending that you have to do on hard mode, and it is a little better than I expected. So, again, disregard everything that past me is about to say, okay? Thank you, and enjoy the rest of this segment. This tier list in the first place. Sonic Frontiers. Okay, I'm gonna say this off rip. Before I start gushing. The ending is a total letdown in my opinion. Like, the ending, all that build up for that is so lame. It was so lame. Like, the ending for Sonic Frontiers is lame. It's so anticlimactic. All that build up for that, I'm so let down. But that's story wise. Gameplay wise, I mean, how else can I say it? This literally might be the best 3D Sonic game we may ever get. Who knows? Sega may drop the ball again, but I pray to God they don't, because they literally created one of, if not the best 3D Sonic game ever made. Like, if you enjoyed Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild or Genshin Impact, you should feel right at home with Sonic Frontiers. Now, the thing is, when you start off, Sonic's controls do feel a little weird and will take some getting used to, you know. The boost not being on square, it took some getting used to, but trust me, once you get used to it, it'll feel natural. Like, there's so much I can say about Sonic Frontiers, from the graphics to the way Sonic handles when you start getting the hang of the controls, or when you level them up. The act of just exploring the different islands and whatnot, tackling all the different platforming challenges that each island has. The cyberspace levels being pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. There are a ton of like references. They're like, this game oodles Sonic Frontiers oodles references from across both previous eras that we mentioned. And it's like the callbacks and the references and the Easter eggs. And the fact that we're going to be getting some updates later on in the year, like as this year progresses. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll add something more to the story. You never know. But for right now, what I played over the past 3 weeks, yes, I played 3 weeks. I beat this game within 3 weeks. I have no way. Sonic Frontiers to me is the I dare even say it's better than Generations. I will say that. I'm gonna put Mania in front of Generations too. Okay, Mania goes at the top there, then we got Frontiers right behind it. Yeah, perfect. While Mania is the best 2D Sonic game ever made, Frontiers is the best 3D Sonic game ever made. Although the developers say it's an open zone, it's an open world. It's open world. You could literally, like, you have, like, when you spawn on a new island, the first thing you want to do is just explore your surroundings. And that feeling of exploration in Sonic Frontiers is so freaking good. It's so good. You know what? I'm looking forward to the updates that are coming, because it's only gonna get better from here. I would assume. And that's gonna do it for our Sonic tier list. This one was spur of the moment, because as soon as I finished Frontiers, I said, okay, bet. I got my thoughts and feelings together. Let's go do that tier list. So here we are. Hopefully you guys enjoy like my tier list styles like this, where I break each tier list into different segments, because it makes the video a lot easier to make instead of just doing just one long continuous video like I used to do. Used to be draining. It's very draining on the brain and on the voice box. But let me know what you guys think about my places, my picks and whatnot. Do you think these games? Do you think this is acceptable, or excuse me? Do you think that some of my takes are bad? Let me know down in the comments. And that's gonna be it. As I said, this is it for this video. The next tier list will be out in a 1 month's time. So tick tock, watch the clock. See you guys then. Hope you have a good day. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.